And in today's video, we are going to look into some of the most successful bombers from major World War II nations. We will discuss their importance, features, and how successful they were in their operations and what impact they had during their service life. We're going to start our list with the Soviet Union. During World War II, Soviet Union deployed Ilyushin Il-2 Sturmovik, an attack bomber which was monumental in defending the Red Army and Soviet Union in Eastern Front. It is one of the most produced combat aircraft in the aviation history. The Il-2 Sturmovik was designed primarily as a ground attack aircraft intended to provide close air support for Soviet ground forces by attacking enemy tanks, infantry, and other ground targets. It was a single-engine armed aircraft with a crew of 1 or 2 depending on the model. One of the distinctive features of the Il-2 was its heavy armor protection. The aircraft had armor plating to protect the pilot and critical systems from enemy fire, which contributed to its legendary reputation for ruggedness and survivability. The Il-2 was armed with cannons that could vary depending on the model. Some versions were equipped with a 20 mm SH-VAK cannon, while others featured a 23 mm VYA-23 cannon. These cannons used to engage armored targets such as tanks and vehicles. In addition to cannons, the Il-2 had machine guns for engaging soft targets like infantry and light vehicles. It often featured a pair of 7.62 mm SHKAS machine guns mounted in the wings. The Il-2 could be armed with unguided rockets such as the RS-82 and RS-132 rockets. These rockets were launched in salvos and were effective against a wide range of ground targets. The Il-2 could carry various types of bombs ranging in size and purpose. These bombs included FAB bombs. The Il-2 could carry FAB bombs, which were general-purpose bombs with different weights and explosive payloads. They could be used against various types of ground targets. PTAB anti-tank bombs. The Il-2 was sometimes equipped with the PTAB bombs, which were specialized anti-tank bomblets. These small bombs were designed to penetrate tank armor upon impact and were practically effective against tanks and armored vehicles. The Il-2 was equipped with a basic bomb sight that allowed the pilot to line up targets during a dive and release bombs with accuracy. The pilot would typically initiate a shallow dive to gain speed and accuracy before releasing the bombs. The Il-2 had multiple hardpoints under its wings and fuselage where various combinations of bombs, rockets, and other ordnance could be attached. This flexibility allowed the aircraft to be customized for specific mission profiles and target types. Overall, the combination of cannons, machine guns, rockets, and bombs gave the Il-2 Sturmovik a potent arsenal for engaging a wide range of ground targets. Its ability to carry out effective ground attacks played a pivotal role in the Eastern Front battles of World War II. The Il-2 was highly effective in its ground attack role. It played a significant role in battles on the Eastern Front, especially during the later stages of the World War II. Its ability to engage both ground and air targets made it a versatile asset for the Soviet Air Force. The Il-2 was produced in large numbers with the estimates ranging from 36,000 to 42,000 units. This high production volume highlights its importance in Soviet wartime aviation. The Il-2 underwent several modifications and upgrades throughout its production run. Different variants included changes in armaments, engine, and other systems to enhance performance and adapt to evolving combat needs. The Il-2 Sturmovik played a significant role in turning the tide of battle on the Eastern Front. Its attack on enemy tanks, vehicles, and fortified positions were instrumental in supporting Soviet ground forces and contributing to their successes against the German forces. Now let's discuss some of the planes from Great Britain. The Avro Lancaster is a renowned British heavy bomber that achieved legendary status during World War II. It is one of the most iconic and successful bombers of the World War II. It was developed by the British aircraft manufacturer Avro as a heavy bomber for the Royal Air Force. Its primary role was to conduct strategic bombing missions over Nazi Germany and other Axis territories. The Lancaster played a vital role in the Royal Air Force night bombing campaign against industrial and military targets. The Lancaster was a 4-engine mid-wing monoplane with a distinctive sleek design. Some notable features included armament. The Lancaster was armed with various defensive machine guns to ward off any enemy fighter attacks. It had nose, dorsal, and tail turrets, each equipped with machine guns. This defensive armament was crucial in fending off attacks during bombing runs. The aircraft had a substantial bomb-carrying capacity which allowed it to carry a diverse range of bombs, including high explosive bombs, incendiary bombs, and even the massive Grand Slam and tall boy bombs designed for targeting heavily fortified or underground targets. The standard crew complement consisted of 7 members: the pilot, flight engineer, navigator, bomb aimer, wireless operator, and 2 gunners. Each crew member had specific responsibilities crucial for the success of the mission. The Lancaster had a relatively long operational range, which enabled it to conduct missions deep into the enemy territory. Its ability to carry out night missions was a crucial factor in minimizing its exposure to enemy fighters and anti-aircraft fire. The Lancaster is best known for its involvement in the Royal Air Force nighttime bombing raids over Germany. It played a significant role in the Battle of Britain, the bombing campaign against the industrial and civilian targets in Germany and other theaters of the war. Notably, the Lancaster was the primary aircraft used for the Operation Chastise, the famous dam busters raid aimed at destroying dams in the Ruhr Valley. The Avro Lancaster is celebrated for its remarkable service during World War II. It gained a reputation for being robust, reliable, and capable of withstanding significant damage. The aircraft and its crew faced numerous challenges and dangers while conducting night bombing raids, but their contributions were instrumental in weakening Germany's war machine. Now let's discuss another aircraft from the Great Britain, which was the Havilland DH-98 Mosquito. Commonly known as the Mosquito, was a highly versatile and innovative British aircraft that served in various roles during World War II. It's often hailed as one of the most successful and unique aircraft of the war. The Mosquito was designed and manufactured by the British aviation company de Havilland during the late 1930s and early 1940s. It was conceived as a multi-role aircraft intended to perform a wide range of missions including bomber, reconnaissance, fighter bomber, and more. One of the most distinctive aspects of the Mosquito was its construction. Unlike traditional aircraft that used metal frames, the Mosquito was constructed primarily of wood. This approach was initially met with skepticism but proved highly successful. The wooden construction made the aircraft lightweight, allowing it to achieve impressive speed and maneuverability. Additionally, the wooden structure could be built relatively quickly, which was crucial during the wartime production efforts. The Mosquito had several variants, each adapted for different roles. The Mosquito served as a high-speed bomber capable of carrying a substantial bomb to distant targets. Its speed and altitude capabilities often allowed it to evade enemy fighters and anti-aircraft fire. Equipped with cameras and other reconnaissance equipment, the Mosquito conducted vital photo reconnaissance missions, gathering valuable intelligence for the Allies. The aircraft was armed with cannons and machine guns, allowing it to perform fighter-bomber missions. Its speed made it a challenging target for enemy fighters. The Mosquito was modified for night fighter duties, equipped with radar to intercept enemy aircraft during the cover of darkness. A variant known as the Pathfinder was used to mark targets with flares for follow-up bomber formations during night raids. The Mosquito's performance was exceptional. Its top speed exceeded 400 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest operational aircraft of its time. This speed allowed it to outrun many enemy fighters and anti-aircraft defenses. The Mosquito's versatility, speed, and adaptability made it a favored aircraft among its crews and a thorn in the sides of the Axis power. Its ability to perform various roles without the need for major modifications was a testament to its innovative design. The Mosquito's contribution to the war effort was substantial. It played a key role in disrupting enemy communication lines, striking industrial and military targets, and providing crucial reconnaissance data. Its influence extended beyond the war, as its design principles and innovations influenced later generations of aircraft. Now let's discuss a plane from Japan. The Mitsubishi G4M Betty was a Japanese twin-engine bomber used during World War II. It was a significant part of Japan's air effort in the Pacific theater. The Mitsubishi G4M was designed by the Mitsubishi Company as a long-range medium bomber. Its development began in the late 1930s to fulfill Japanese Navy's requirement for high-speed, long-range bomber. The resulting aircraft, the G4M Betty, was designed to have extended range capabilities, making it suitable for both maritime and land-based operations. The G4M Betty had several notable features. The G4M was known for its impressive range, which allowed it to undertake long missions over great distances. Its top speed was noteworthy for a bomber of its time, making it difficult for enemy fighters to intercept. To achieve its extended range, the G4M was constructed with lightweight materials. However, this lightweight construction also made the aircraft vulnerable to enemy fire and damage. The G4M was equipped with defensive armament, typically including a combination of machine guns and cannons to fend off enemy fighters. However, its defensive capabilities were often considered inadequate, leaving the aircraft vulnerable to attacks. The G4M had various versions designed for different roles, including bombing, reconnaissance, and torpedo attack. It was capable of carrying torpedoes, bombs, or other ordnance. The G4M played a significant role in Japanese military strategy during World War II. It was used for a variety of missions including naval and ground bombing, torpedo attack against enemy ships, and reconnaissance. One of its most famous roles was used in kamikaze attacks during the later stages of the war, where G4M bombers were used as suicidal planes to crash into the enemy ships. The G4M's lightweight construction, intended to provide extended range, also made it vulnerable to enemy fire. Its lack of significant armor and self-sealing fuel tanks made it prone to catching fire and exploding upon being hit. This earned it the unfortunate nickname the Flying Zippo among Allied forces. The Mitsubishi G4M Betty, while facing criticism for its vulnerability, played a significant role in Japan's early war efforts in the Pacific. It was involved in various campaigns and battles, including attack on the Pearl Harbor and subsequent Pacific battles. Its use as a kamikaze platform in the later stages of the war underscores Japanese desperate situation. Despite its limitations, the G4M remained a noteworthy aircraft in aviation history due to its range, speed, and the role it played during World War II. Now let's discuss a plane from Nazi, Germany. The Junkers Ju-87, commonly known as the Stuka, in German meaning dive bomber, was a German ground attack aircraft that became famous during World War II. It was designed and utilized as a precision dive bomber intended to provide close air support for ground forces and deliver accurate strikes against enemy targets. The Stuka was developed by the German company Junkers in the mid-1930s. It had several distinctive features that contributed to its effectiveness and reputation. The Stuka was designed specifically for dive bombing, a technique where the aircraft enters a steep dive to accurately release its bomb on target. This allowed for precision attacks and ground attacks, including tanks, vehicles, fortified positions, and naval vessels. One of the most recognizable aspects of the Stuka was the siren known as the Jericho trumpet, mounted on the wingtips. The siren emitted a distinctive and terrifying wailing sound during a dive, which intended to intimidate and demoralize the enemy troops. The Stuka had fixed landing gear, which simplified its design and made it more rugged for operating from rough airfields or makeshift airstrips. The aircraft typically had a crew of two, a pilot and a rear gunner radio operator, which operated a rear-facing machine gun. The Stuka was armed with machine guns and could carry a variety of bombs, including high explosive, fragmentation, and anti-tank bombs. The Stuka was highly effective in its early use. Particularly during the early stages of the World War II, it played a significant role in the German Blitzkrieg, supporting ground forces with accurate strikes. Stuka squadrons were involved in key campaigns such as the invasion of Poland, the Battle of France, and the early stages of the Eastern Front campaign. As the war progressed and air defenses improved, the Stuka faced increasing challenges. Its slow speed and vulnerability to enemy fighters led to significant losses in the later stages of the war. The aircraft's lack of agility and protection made it unsuitable for combat in changing air warfare environment. Despite its limitation, the Stuka left a lasting impact on aviation history due to its unique role as a dedicated dive bomber and its association with the early Blitzkrieg success. The distinctive sound of the Jericho trumpet became a symbol of the Blitzkrieg era and is still recognized today. Where its effectiveness waned later in the war, the Stuka's design and tactics influenced the development of the ground attack aircraft in subsequent years. When listing planes from the USA, there were many, but most significant of all were B-17 Flying Fortress, B-29 Super Fortress, and the B-24 Liberator. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress was armed with multiple defensive positions, including nose, top, belly, and tail turrets, each equipped with 50 caliber machine guns. With a production run of over 12,700 units, its main strength lay in its heavy armament and ability to sustain damage, earning it the Flying Fortress moniker. The B-17's weakness, however, lay in its vulnerability to enemy fighters and lack of fighter escort during early missions. Its unpressurized cabin and inadequate crew protection against extreme cold posed challenges. Despite these vulnerabilities, the B-17's formidable firepower, robust design, and the bravery of its crew contributed significantly to its role as a strategic bomber in the European theater of World War II. Now we are dealing with the Americas, so everything naturally has to be supersized, including the B-17 Flying Fortress, which was basically pushed out of the sky by the B-29 Super Fortress. A 4-engine heavy bomber designed for high-altitude bombing and low-altitude nighttime firebombing. It was the largest bomber to fly in the World War II, though it only did so in December 1943. And it wasn't until June 1944 that Superfortress were used to bomb Japan from air bases in China, showing off the aircraft's exceptional 4,100-mile range. This flight did have its logistical problems though, so the US military captured the Mariana Island, putting the infamous B-29 Enola Gay in the easy range of its target Hiroshima, upon which it dropped an atomic bomb. The B-29 Superfortress project costed around $4 billion, and each of the 3,970 aircraft manufactured would cost around $640,000. And now finally, the last plane we are going to discuss in this video is the B-24 Liberator. Its strength lay in its impressive range, which allowed it to cover vast distances during missions, and its capacity for carrying a heavy bomb load. Armed with the defensive machine guns in various positions, it was designed to fend off enemy attacks. However, the B-24 had some weaknesses, such as its vulnerability to enemy fighters due to limited defensive coverage. Its significance stemmed from its versatility. It served in a variety of roles, including strategic bombing in Europe and anti-submarine patrols in the Atlantic. Over 18,000 Liberators were manufactured between 1940 and 1945, highlighting its importance and widespread use in the war effort. So what do you think were most significant and successful bombers of the World War II? Leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.